Hello, my name is Jacqueline Vulcano. I teach beginner ESL at Central Wyoming College in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I'm going to show you the two TSTM lessons that I did and how I adapted them to beginner ESL. So the first lesson I did was changing jobs. I did 3 out of the 4 objectives. The warm-up, instead of talking about a friend of mine, I told them about my decision to decide between a job teaching English in Japan for a decent salary or moving to Jackson Hole, Wyoming and living at poverty level as an AmeriCorps Vista volunteer for the federal government. So I told them my story and went through some vocabulary, and I elicited what information they understood or remember from the story. And then I tried to have them relate to their decision to move to the United States from their home country. The problem in the lesson was of a single mother. I changed, and losing her job. I changed to losing a job because of COVID-19. And I changed the family in the story to a mother working in housekeeping in Teton Village and a father working in construction, so they could relate to the scenario, and then having the mother lose her job because of COVID-19 and her needing to decide if she should continue looking for a job in housekeeping or look for something that may be relevant to the education she has in her country. And we went through some vocabulary. And we talked about a budget and how much money these two people make. And I added in a partner interview but didn't have time, but it would have added some extra conversation activity into the lesson. And we talked about knowns and unknowns, and I elicited these questions, added in some sentence frames, and typed their responses into the Google presentation. And we briefly talked about pros and cons at the end because we were out of time. The second lesson that I did was on social media. I used the Pear Deck Chrome extension for this one. So this is what the students see on their side. And they need 2 windows open, a Zoom browser, a Zoom window, and then their Chrome browser, which I give a link for each one. I targeted 2 out of the 3 learning targets, asked a couple of Facebook questions in the beginning, and they could answer them, and I would show the answers from my presentation through the Zoom window. And then we talked about the social media definition. I added some drawing slides so they can circle their answers. Talk about the languages they use in the apps and the groups that they belong to. I added this conversation piece for breakout rooms. There were teams of 3. Each person had a role, a writer, timer, and presenter, and they had to respond to the prompts in the activity. And I can't. And so the writer would write the responses from the team, and when the teams were finished and came back to the main Zoom class, then the presenter would share 2 things from the activity from their team. I had the students make social media concept maps. So they drew the map in their notebook, and I gave them the access to this the Google Docs, so they can use those sentences for their concept map, and I put some sentence frames as well. And we made a Facebook group, and everyone was able to join the group, and they were supposed to post the picture of their concept map. It was difficult to show a demonstration, but everyone figured it out, and then we did an exit ticket at the end.